think I'll end up just staying on the couch.
Yeah, Indy.
Bears have to win this weekend.
Yeah, we know that.
I mean, it's sort of the same logic here where if you're going to find that path to 10 or 11, I think you got to circle this one
This has to be a victory. Cleveland has to be a victory.
I'll tell you what I don't like.
That's the truth.
I don't like the fact that for a second straight day yesterday, and we'll get today's injury report, obviously, a little bit later in the afternoon. Chris and Adam will have it for you later today. For the second straight day yesterday, Tremaine Edmonds did not practice. We know TJ Edwards has been dealing with that hand and that hamstring injury. I think that the hamstring is the thing that's holding him back more. They think he can play with the hand. They'll just club it up and he can play with that. But the hamstring injury has been a problem for TJ Edwards. And now Tremaine Edmonds hasn't practiced. Tremaine Edmonds didn't miss a snap on Sunday. So when did this happen? Like, obviously in the game, York, did he just, what happens? Monday morning, went for some treatment, and they realized, this isn't really responding. There's something wrong. He's got a groin injury. And he played every snap, every defensive snap he played on Sunday. He never came out. There was no injury designation, not questionable to return, didn't go to the Blue Medical Tent, as we know. He did not. He hasn't practiced this week. So something must have happened Monday, right, where
aches and pains,
aches and pains?
Aches and pains.
I don't like the fact that he hasn't practiced.
Played a lot, pounded. We'll see what he does today.
Yeah.
What kind of participation he has. Then he's got another day Saturday. And I mean, they're treating it, obviously, whatever it is. There's treatment involved. It's not one treatment. It's multiple treatments throughout the day. And then you hope with a little rest and stretching and strengthening. That's what I like to call it.
Yeah.
Stretching and strengthening that he'll be ready to rock on Sunday.
What has Todd Furman always told us? What are the pro gamblers looking for as they scour these injury reports team by team? They look for cluster injuries within a position group. And a lot of times they'll bet games based off of that. Obviously, there's not going to be too much of a line move. The only players that really move lines are quarterbacks. But the sharp and the big groups and the sharp bettors and the pros are literally looking for these cluster injuries. And when they see them,
they pound
they start to pounce. And so we'll talk to Todd at 11. You could start to see that influence the game and influence the market a little bit. Especially, I mean, they're going to try to beat it today, obviously. They're going to try to get out ahead of it.
Sure, yeah.
But if something were to happen, if the books realize that maybe he's going to have a designation of doubtful and they're already dealing, Noah Sewell is another one who got banged up the other day, was in and out of the game. He hasn't practiced all this week. Could have your 3 starting linebackers out. Those are the kind of cluster injuries that the pro groups will look at and go, now it's time to bet the Steelers.
Yeah.
Even if a lot of their metrics favor the Bears, when they look at those cluster injuries within a position group.
Sure.
So that worries me a little because I do think they got to get this game. As now we're all charged up thinking the Bears could be a playoff team. Yeah. Well, you sort of have to get this one if you're going to do that.
I might at the noon window have to check out the quad box if it's going to be available. I want to see Chicago, Pittsburgh, obviously. Green Bay, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Would be featured prominently. Colts, Chiefs.
And then you thinking Patriots, Bengals? What do you think?
No, I would probably go ahead and maybe grab Detroit, New York.
Really?
Well, I want to see what Detroit does. Do they bounce back? Is the quarterback still struggling? Suddenly he can't complete 50% of his balls?
Well, he'll be
That's
inside.
Last week.
He'll complete 80% of them.
Right. Well, we'll find out. We'll take a look at
Dan
that.
Campbell still calling plays?
That would be on my quad box. Baltimore, New York, not so much.
No, that's a terrible.
Nobody wants to watch the Jets play, and I think they finally they benched Fields last week.
They benched Justin, yeah. Tyrod Taylor started.
Tyrod Taylor's going to play, so I like that. The 3 o'clock window.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the home.
That 3 o'clock window is kind of lousy.
Philly, Dallas. I think Dallas is going to muster up an effort.
That's the one.
Philly, Dallas. I tell you, the game nobody wants to watch. Jacksonville, Arizona.
Nobody.
Cleveland, Las Vegas. I'm sorry. Las Vegas is pitiful. They made a quarterback change, Carm?
Yeah, slightly intriguing to maybe take a look at that game
O'Connell?
and see Shador. You got 2 new quarterbacks. I mean, Shador's going to start, and I think they've gone to Aiden O'Connell.
Aiden O'Connell. And then really, New Orleans, Atlanta?
No.
They're trying to figure out exactly who's going to have the better draft choice, I guess, in that game. Is that the game?
That's exactly
Who's going to have the better draft choice? Yeah. That 3 o'clock slate, except for maybe Dallas, Philadelphia, is a bay of pigs.
Kind of yucky.
And you know what? And people will still watch.
Of course.
And people will still watch. When I look at the schedule and I say this is nothing but crap, it truly is.
Big crap sandwich.
Nothing but crap, and people still watch.
Alex is in Naperville. What's going on, Alex?
Alex!
Hey, boys. Good morning. Hey, Jurk. First of all, our Panthers got down at Crimson Tide, Bama this week. You think they stand a chance?
Listen, I played Kansas when I was a freshman. We went out there, and it was 13-12 at halftime. The Panthers had the lead.
You guys had the lead?
Yeah, and then we got absolutely destroyed in the second half. It was Mike Gottfried was the coach. They had a good quarterback, Mike Norseth, that ended up playing at Cleveland. Willie Pless was a linebacker there, and they had a good receiver that bounced around the NFL. We got beat. Yeah. We got destroyed. If the Crimson Tide would have won last week, I would have given us a fighting chance not to get beat by like 25 or 30. But because they got beat last week, the lesson's going to have to be taught. I hope the check is big, and I hope the check is even bigger. But times might get tough down in Tuscaloosa this week, and I hope nobody gets hurt and we protect the equipment.
Alex,
that's all I'm asking for.
Alex, there's not even a line on that game.
No.
Like it's just like they won't even
just looking for one.
They won't even post one. Yeah. I haven't seen one all week. I don't think the books will even post one.
And Eastern themselves this year, I've been watching obviously, and I get texts every Monday. Eastern's been on the struggle bus a little bit, not on the right side of things, making some mistakes.
Yeah, Jurk, maybe they need you to get back out in the coaching regime down there.
Coach Wilkerson's doing a wonderful job down there, as per usual. If you got guys that come to the forefront with this new nil, unfortunately, we start losing these guys to Division I programs. So that's the challenge that all our programs are going to have at that football championship series level. It's a natural challenge. It's the challenge that's going to be out there. No coach is exempt from that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to get dissatisfied guys and convince them to come down to the football championship series, and then you build yourself a little bit of a program. Yeah.
What did you want to say about the Bears, Alex? Go ahead.
Yeah, what I wanted to talk about is regarding the linebackers. I mean, Sewell, no offense to him, against the Giants looked horrible. Yeah. Thank goodness, Jackson Dart got hurt. But he was getting, manned up on every single play. I mean, if both him, Edwards and essentially, Tremaine Edmonds are both out, we're going to have some serious issues. What do you think we do defensively from a scheme point, Jurk, if both of those guys are out?
It's a good question, Alex. And like Courtney floated the idea yesterday with Waddle and Sylvie, do you play, especially if they get Jalen Johnson back? I'm not sure they will, but do you play C.J. Gardner-Johnson as like a hybrid?
A tweener, safety / linebacker.
They signed a linebacker this week too, but when you start signing guys off the street in week 12,
and expect them to adapt instantaneously and kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
I think the Bears play a lot of nickel anyway.
They do.
But if the linebackers are gone, they play a lot of 12 and a lot of 13 personnel here. The Pittsburgh Steelers do.
They do.
I think they play the second most amount of 13 and the seventh most amount of 12.
Look at you on top of all the stats.
So
they do play a high amount. A lot of tight ends, double, triple tight ends.
You've rubbed off on me, and I've always been a statistician guy. I've always appreciated the numbers and crunched the numbers.
I know you.
I've always done that. So with that jumbo personnel and with big personnel, that's going to be a challenge no matter what you do, and your defensive line is going to have to step up to the mic. Now, can I play 5 defensive linemen, or can I get one of my bigs to play a little bit of linebacker? Can I get one of my bigs maybe to go off the ball, play the flex? Remember the old Dallas flex? The way they would take Randy White and they'd move him off the ball a little bit?
Yeah.
They called it the flex defense.
Really?
So one of the defensive tackles would go back a little bit so he can really get a gander at that thing. So, I don't know. Maybe that's a possibility. Maybe you could put against that big run formation a little bit of Grady Jarrett on the defensive line. Play 5 across.
You make an excellent point here about like how you try to counter it because Jurk nailed it. There are 3 teams in the league that play a lot of 13 personnel. That's 3 tight end sets. League average, just so everybody knows, 5%. That's league average.
Yes.
There are 3 teams that play it more than 12% of the time, all right? 13 personnel more than 12% of the time. The Indianapolis Colts, about 12.5%. The Pittsburgh Steelers, about 16.5%. And the LA Rams, which we've talked about here in recent weeks, they're doing it like almost 20% of the time. Yeah. But you nailed it. Pittsburgh's playing these big, because they've got, Jonnu Smith was on their injury report, but they've got these 3 tight ends, and they play these big 3 tight end sets.
Darnell Washington. 6'7", 264.
Darnell Washington.
I think he's a little bit bigger than that.
He's huge.
If you take a look at it. Guys have a tendency to gain weight during the season anyway.
Yeah.
They may have taken his, hey, we want you to weigh in on Friday mornings at this number. Dave may have torn that sheet up, Carm, and thrown it in the garbage and said, whatever you show up at, you're fine.
Right. I know we got a break, but yeah, it's an excellent point that you're making there into what Alex was talking about, and our concern now with the linebacking core and who's going to be ready. And it's not so easy to say, well, you're not in your base defense much anyway, and you can play a little bit lighter, and you can play nickel and dime. You got a team coming in that plays a lot of big, heavy personnel sets, and that could be a little bit of a matchup nightmare if these guys can't go. We'll see. 312-332-ESPN. It's Carmen and Jurko. We'll be right back.